Welcome back to another video. Popped in to see this creation. This is a home-built hero, and I mean the attention to detail on this rally car, which is used, never believe. This is a 1982 Starlet with an XE engine making 300 horsepower. So let's get into it. So what an amazing build this is. So how I stumbled across this car was, I was over flowing the C20XE cylinder heads at MED Race Engines. You may have seen that video by now. This beautiful car was in their workshop, I think having an engine refresh. The quality and the attention to detail on this build proper stood out. Now we're back over it again in Ireland to do some more filming. I had to pop in, get a closer look, talk to the owner, get a bit more detail. So this is obviously a 1982 Toyota Starlet. These things are rare. Never mind being able to rally one. All the work has started in this workshop at the back of his bungalow. So what is super interesting about this car is you would never think that a Starlet is actually probably 2 to 4 inches wider than an Escort Mark II, because everything under this car is Escort Mark II. So what I'll do is I'll dive in and show you what I mean without actually going into detail of the engine and stuff. We'll just show you how we spot that. So underneath this, it runs the Mark II subframe. So if you look, this area here, that's about 1.5 inches. That there has to be come inwards so they could mount the Escort Mark II subframe. So showing that the chassis rails are actually wider on the Starlet than they are the Escort. So what the owner's done is he's adapted the full underneath of this to Escort Mark II setup. Everything from trailing arms, bottom arms, suspension, actually bolts up to the top turret, to the part of the subframe. Let's go squeeze under the back here, back axle, the mounts, everything, the falling is all to do with Escort. And some of the reason for that is, which is very, very clever, so when he goes to a rally in Ireland, there is hundreds of Escort Mark 1s and Mark 2s. So if you damage something, you can always find the parts to repair it at the stage. Very clever thinking, because obviously to make your car more reliable, it's better for you at events. Let's dive in, let's look at a few little nice details about how this build works. They're getting rare, you don't see many old Starlets. What's the score with a Starlet, and is it a big thing? Again, bear with me, I don't know the rally circuit very well in Ireland. Are they a big thing in Ireland for Starlets?
They're getting bigger, they're still hard to find. Little people have them, you know, there's not that many people have them.
Yeah.
They're just something different, and you're a Starlet person or an Escort person. You still have an Escort. I'm not someday I'll have an Escort person, an Escort.
So let's say road car Starlet, this, the rear wheel drive.
Yep, rear drive.
Original engine is a
1.1 or 1300, that's 1100. This was out of Japan originally.
As I said, this is an MED Race Engines built engine. It looks like it's on 52mm throttle bodies. I would have thought full steel, dry sump, solid lifters, uprated cam, the usual. They're very high spec to make the 300 horsepower these XE engines make. Super high-end Rega suspension. Really, really nice remote canister for dampening and rebound adjustment. Simpson's exhaust. Again, Escort Mark II, and then adapted rear backwards. It is also on a sequential 6-speed gearbox. It has all the high-end equipment to make the car work. But for me, it's all to do with fit and finish. So every bolt has got a nice little washer on. The bonnet stay. So you could just put any bonnet stay on, but obviously, nice little rose joint, Escort one, with a slight bend, and it actually runs 100% true with the slam panel. It's little details like that that make these cars, and what people don't see. They all look at the finished article and they don't see the amount of time and attention and detail it takes to build something to this kind of standard, and it is a stunning build, let me tell you. So what spec is it? So what back axle we got? What gearbox?
So we have basically it's like underneath is like a Mark II rolling gear.
Okay.
So it's all modular front suspension from Grip 4 Fabrications. Tractive gearbox, 2-piece prop, and a fully floater.
Okay.
Tarmac with. Mark Smith also fabricated the axle for me.
Obviously, MED race engine, Ricky's.
But MED 2.1, all steel.
Steel crank as well and everything, full works.
Full works, yeah.
Nice, nice.
So,
what do you make?
294
wow.
brake horsepower and 211 pound-feet of torque.
Great, great.
So, great engine, great gearbox. The brakes are outstanding, they're as big as my head.
I'll have a look, I'll have a look.
I had a great year last year, so that's that. The brakes are off a Lotus. They're actually an AP caliper. These come on a Lotus lease in the front.
Okay.
So they're off that. And fuel
weight of the car?
984 kilos.
Wow.
So it's pretty light. That's with nobody in it.
Just look at this back axle, it's amazing, I love it. Class them as like a torsion bar to keep it central so they fight against each other. All Escort setup, Escort rear shocks, again with the damper and rebound setup. Lotus 2-pot calipers, APs on the rear. To think that this thing is regularly rallied, it is a credit to how much work the builder puts into this to keep it clean, to keep on top of it, and even to the point of designing. If you look at this area and a bit further about this area, he's made like steel skid plates to kind of make it so it doesn't get as battered as it should do. And also he's got a lot of templates for all the mud flaps and arch liners, so near enough every single race he can replace it, clean it, and keep on top of keeping this car in tip-top condition. Again, in beautiful condition. How, like you say, to keep it in this condition after using it as a rally car is a credit definitely to the owner, and I don't think he realises that himself. You know, sometimes when you build these cars, you pick fault at your own work. The roll cage, really nicely done. Additional bars put in there and a full X in the roof. Obviously, the roof vent, intercom system, but what is really nice in here, obviously you can see the OMP steering wheel with all the additional buttons, like a little control panel which is all for the ignition, the start up, the sequential shifter, which is beautiful on the principle of the amount of work that's gone into building even just this little razor here for the full, you know, the full setup to move. Really nice with cantilevers down to change gear. A lot of work. Carbon fibre flooring, tilt and pedal box, which, as far as he tells me, all the cylinders are under here for easy access of bleeding, changing and messing around, because if they are at the back, it can take a lot of time. And another little thing that I didn't tell you in the engine bay is, I asked the question, what is this little bleed nipple for? And that there is to bleed the clutch. It's everything's been forward thought with this car. Really has really nice, because to bleed the clutch, you can imagine on a rally stage in the mud or whatever, or in the rain, to bleed the clutch because you've got an issue, it can be a nightmare. But that there just makes your life so much easier, and that is a credit to the detail that's gone into this. ECU Masters dash, I think it's on a DTA ECU. The wiring's really nice, all hidden, can't really see much. You can just see the odd little bits and pieces. I still cannot believe that this thing is rallied regular. Other than a couple of little bits and pieces, it is in pristine condition. And to say he doesn't do this for a living, he should start thinking about it. The thing, what I see as an outsider, and looking at rally cars, they get battered.
Yeah.
This thing is stunning, and you use it.
Yeah, well, I do try and keep it all like a few.
Yeah, you started to show some wear and tear.
And I kept it here at Donegal. The best thing was starting with a good shell.
Yeah, it's always the case, because before you know it, you're welding for months and months just to repair.
Nice. It doesn't look nice either.
No, and then to find good panels to weld in, especially probably on these things. I don't know if you can even get floor pans and quarters and stuff like that. So inside the boot, we've got obviously the fuel tank, which kind of in the boot is kind of quite common for rallying because of damage underneath. If you don't want to put a guard on it, they sometimes, they fit them in the boot. Additional thing is obviously dry sump kit, so obviously dry sump tank, looks like some kind of breather tank for the oil system. It's also got twin pumps. Now what he tells me is he only runs the engine on one pump and he carries the other one as a spare, which is something I really like with the rally boys, which I've kind of learning being in front of this kind of cars, is they always carry little spares. So other little things I'll point out is I'll put this guard down and I'll show you what I mean by carrying spares. So this obviously, it's more of a firewall for the fueling system, for the cars, for regs. They always have additional like alternator belts and dry sump tank belts, cable tied to their roll cage. For if there is a problem, they can repair them on courses. This is where the spare tyre would fit. Obviously a hook for the helmets. But as you can see, everything in there has been well thought out. It looks like a fresh build, and it's been rallying since, I think he said, 1.5 years. He's been properly rallying it. Definitely a credit to the owner. So again, let's talk about, because for me, the reason why I like coming over to Northern Ireland is the rally scene's huge. I have never seen anything like it. The UK is so quiet compared to over here. You look, like say my town, you might only have 5 or 6 hardcore racers, drivers, whether it's drag, track, whatever it is. You only have 5 or 6. Here, it's every second house. Everyone's got a rally car, and you're like, what's going on? I can't get it.
Rally cars.
Because I go and see Ricky at MED. He's like, yeah, obviously I'm the engine builder. There's one down the road 5 mile. There's another guy 15 mile. And you're like, what?
I know, it doesn't make sense. It's
it just seems to be in everyone's blood round here that everyone has a rally car.
It's a small country, and everyone's just doing it about everywhere. And
Yeah.
it's great. That's what the thing with rallying is, and probably motorsport in general. You might not see a person every week. You might see them in a month, and it's just you pick up where you left off, just like the track, and you give each other what you have, and work together, and that's the great thing. That's what I enjoy rallying, the social side of it too, and who you meet and the people you're involved with. It's brilliant.
No, it is good.
They're amazing things to drive. They're great handling car.
Are they?
Oh, outstanding. Very, very good. Very good with the bumps.
So how does it compare with dimensions to an Escort? Is it a lot shorter?
It's actually a little bit longer.
Really?
The wheelbase is a little bit longer. Obviously, no tail hang. The front is about 2 inches each side wider from the cross member. So we have to, this is all Mark II cross member in this. We've actually plated it out so it can take the Mark II cross member.
Some little details that a lot of people won't pick up on rally events, and you've never been experienced with rally cars. It is very, very common for your co-driver to have the horn button to respond on basically if someone's in your way, and a screen wash button. So that's so you don't have to concentrate on beeping screen, washing your screen. It's all down to your co-driver, who's obviously reading your pace notes. And again, I think I've said this before when I was over this area, these seats are absolutely stunning. I really like these seats. They're really comfy. And what is cool, really cool, is original glass rear quarter lights. The reason being is the pop out. So when they're on a stage or they're rallying, and he says to me when they're at, they mean business, they pop the windows outwards to show they're ready to race. And he's even got the Perspex ones to match, but he's kept these in. So I'm going to sign this one off. Amazing build. To say it's a man in a shed, it shows that with a passion and attention to detail, you can build some super cool stuff. If you had to pay someone to do this type of work, to do this type of detail, it would be astronomical. And that's why I love what this channel's done and what it brings to me, and what I can go and see is these home build heroes in the garage building some really what I would class as high-end builds. It's a fantastic journey, and this is definitely one I'm so chuffed to come and see. So fingers crossed for Colin. He'll have a good year rallying, and when we're out over here sometime in the future with my Corsa doing some racing, we'll meet up and we can see this thing go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.